welcome to the show. Daver here.
I'm Chad. What's going on?
And Chandler is back as well. What's good, peeps? How we doing, Dave?
You know, another collision, another round of Continental Classic matches. I know, Chad, you had a very specific feeling about the episode. How do you feel about it?
I was very satisfied.
Yeah. Me too. How about you, Chandler?
Oh my gosh, so satisfied. This episode of Collision was better than I could have ever expected. So let's start talking about it, huh? I'm fired up.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson was. Oh boy. But at least I have two eyes.
Pirate
Aw.
Danielson.
Prime
AEW
Danielson.
Collision. AEW Collision 12/2/23, and we were in Erie, Pennsylvania. We got a Blue League match, Continental Classic. Brody King versus Claudio Castagnoli. Brody King is looking good. Let me just say that. They're both coming into the match with 3 points. I'm kind of torn, or was, in the beginning of who's gonna win this. Neither man could knock each other down until they both hit a simultaneous clothesline, and they both went down. I really liked that spot right off the bat. Basically, they just pummeled each other. Big uppercut to Brody King on the outside of the ring. We get another big uppercut to Brody King later, and the big swing into the sharpshooter. Brody ends up getting to the ropes. Then we get the Brody King cannonball with the whoo. Got the crowd into that. Then we got Brody King winning the match. Is he gonna take this?
Maybe. I don't see him. If he's beaten Kingston and Claudio, I don't see him losing anytime soon. Especially in the Blue League. I'll be at this point, I'm gonna be surprised when he does lose. It's either gonna be to Danielson or Andrade, but I will be shocked. He's looking real good.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go deep, and he's the biggest obstacle for everybody else for that bracket. The thing I loved most about this match was this is the first one of the tournament. I've really had zero idea how to predict it. Like you said, Dave, it was a coin flip. Either guy could have won. Ooh, words are hard. It was great. It was stiff. Claudio's big rally there with just uppercut after uppercut was pretty awesome. Finally getting that big swing on the big man was pretty dang cool too. I also had to laugh with Tony Schiavone there calling the DVD a Canadian destroyer. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but
Yeah,
Yep.
I was like, I don't remember exactly what that was. I don't think that was a Canadian destroyer.
yeah, it's a Death Valley driver. But it was a hell of a way to start the show, huh? Sorry, Dave. What was that?
Yeah, I can't get mad at Tony.
I
If
genuinely,
JR did it, I'd be mad.
I can see that. For me, I think the biggest thing that stuck out for me in this match is I genuinely didn't think Claudio could get Brody King up for that big uppercut, and he threw him up like he was a baby. I think I just
3 feet.
underestimate Claudio sometimes. I should never do that again. That man can do anything.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying Brody King. He's so powerful and great look. The whole House of Black thing, they're really over. People are into it. Yeah, they're definitely quite the force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they need to drag Buddy down to the tattoo parlor, though.
They do.
He
They
sticks
do.
out a little.
Just get him one little tattoo
Yeah.
somewhere
Or a cool
where
hat.
we can't see. Yeah. Maybe Jake Hager can loan him the purple hat.
Wait, doesn't Danhausen have that now?
I think so. I think he admitted to stealing it.
After that, we get a powerful John Moxley promo. He says maybe entering the Continental Classic was a bad idea. The last 4 years are catching up with him. His head hurts, his neck hurts, his back hurts. Now his knee hurts. He's getting that tingly feeling in his fingers. He lives in pain on a daily basis, sick and tired of being sick and tired. Going to do the only thing he knows how to do and wrestle his way out of it. Someone's got to win the tournament to show what AEW can be. If you think I'm ripe for the picking, please take your shot. All right, damn right, Moxley. Did Dean Ambrose ever deliver anything like that?
No, but he was better in WWE, so I'm that's a joke. I've been seeing a lot of that discourse where people are actually like, "Oh, Dean Ambrose was better than John Moxley," and I'm like, I've been watching John Moxley for maybe 2 or 3 months. That's just wrong. Like, I loved Dean Ambrose. I wanted the best for him, but even at his best, he was still wacky and silly and stupid. So at least I can be scared of Moxley and believe him in AEW. But I had actually seen this on Twitter like a few days ago, just rummaging through, and my gosh, I think I texted you both. I was like, now I want Mox to win this. I keep on flipping every time I watch one of these stupid backstage promos. They're great. What did you think of it, Chad?
Yeah, you actually said the word that popped out of me, which is I believed him. Yeah, I was immediately like it's yeah, every episode now, my viewpoint on this whole thing changes. Like, darn, now I want Moxley to win. I want Brian to win. I want Swerve to win. What the heck? Like, I'm just enjoying the ride for now. But yet again, Moxley, it was like, oh yeah, he's here. He's starting to feel like a regular wrestler, is I think what I called him last week. And now I'm like, oh nope, here's my Mox again. Love him
I
again.
rescind that. I rescind
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't watch our crappy YouTube channel, because he'll come and beat me up. But no, yeah, mission accomplished. I was like, at the beginning of this, I was mildly cynical about the whole, oh, here comes another tournament. Now I'm like, oh hell yeah, I'm loving it. What's your feelings on it, Dave?
Dude, I'm invested. Right after the Danielson Kingston match tonight or last night, I'm all in, man. What a tournament. I can't wait for it every year now. Uh yeah, what they're delivering is something they needed very badly. And I don't think anyone really realized, maybe it was what they needed. We're getting storylines out of it. We get Miro, who isn't even in the tournament, kind of intermingled with Andrade, who is in the tournament. So many things are coming out of it, and I love it. Uh, every competitor, they're like giving this impassioned promo about, when they lose, they're like, down on themselves, but they're gonna keep going. Look out for me now. I lost, but here I come. Like, man, I'm the emotions. Yeah, good job, AEW. Keep it up. Yeah. All right. Well, after that, we get a unexpected Abaddon match, which I'm pretty happy about. Abaddon versus Kira Hogan. Always good to see Abaddon. Uh, I like her new look with that mohawk, and she's more human now, her character. Um, she's like screaming words and like got attitude. Like, I like it better than when she first started with AEW and she was like a zombie that like didn't reason or like think or whatever. Yeah, nice evolution. Um Kiera Hogan did a pretty nice neck breaker to Abaddon. Uh, Kiera Hogan put up a fight, but kind of a quick match. Abaddon won with the Black Dahlia, which kind of that lowered weird leg DDT thing. Love it. Yeah. Then we get the lights go out. Kind of a big trope in AEW nowadays. Julia Hart in the ring staring down Abaddon. Lights go out and Julia's gone. Abaddon looks pissed. Yeah, give me more stories. Thank you. Please and thank you. Uh, we've got a pretty cool thing going on with Tony Storm and who's she feuding with right now?
Sky Blue.
Yeah, Sky Blue. And now we're gonna get a lot of potential with Abaddon and Julia Hart. Maybe Abaddon will join the House of Black.
Maybe.
uh,
I wasn't the biggest fan of this match. I'd never heard of Kiera Hogan before, so it was a new viewing for me, and I felt like this match wasn't that great. But I had written down in my notes, I was like, "Oh, I bet this is going towards like a Julia Hart TBS match, and they're gonna have a spooky off and see who wins." And I'm fine with that. That sounds like a fun time. It's a good challenge for Julia Hart's title. And then I was thinking, is the only reason we had Abaddon in this show is because we're in Erie, Pennsylvania. Any
Ah,
any coincidences, you hack Tony Khan? I see right through you. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that match with Julia Hart, though. That's pretty exciting. What did you think, Chad?
yeah, the it seems to be kind of a common trope on Collision now, where instead of like having just a promo or a backstage segment, they just have a really quick like squash match to kind of as a lead in to get to the next angle. So I thought like that was kind of the effective way to sort of get to Julia versus Abaddon. Yeah, the match itself is just just another collision squash match. But I'm excited to see what comes out of this. I hope Abaddon, like you were saying, Dave, can keep showing that growth and a more human side, not just crazy screamy Oreo eating Abaddon. And hopefully we get a cool feud out of it. Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
cool. After that, we've got Alex Marvez backstage with Samoa Joe. They're interrupted by Roderick Strong. Roddy tries to warn Samoa Joe about MJF being the devil, and the tag team match is a setup. Samoa Joe just laughs at him and walks away. Mm, Yeah, who knows what's going on with that?
Mhm.
Like Joe could be in the Devil Dumpling Gang. Roddy could be in the Devil Dumpling Gang. I don't know.
You want some little speculation? Little.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I loved Roddy coming in and going, Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe. I loved that. So gotta put that pin in. But apparently a lot of people are convinced that two of the people in the masks on Dynamite with MJF, they're pretty certain that they're the two guys from the Kingdom. So Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, right? They're pretty
Mhm.
certain that they're them. And like you can kind of just tell from the masks, but it's like they look pretty similar height. One of them's bald, one of them's hair is matted down. And so if we're looking at potentially three of the four members being Wardlow and then the Kingdom and then like say Jack Perry, are we satisfied with that being the Devil Dumpling Gang? Because that I feel like that's
No.
the realistic. Because then you have ex enemies of MJF, Wardlow, Jack Perry, the Kingdom. That's kind of the speculation based off of what I've grabbed from other people and like Wardlow's hair being messed up last week and the laugh sounding like Jack Perry and you know Not super exciting to me, but hey, maybe they'll pull it off. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the top name would be Adam Cole to lead that bunch of guys. But
Yeah.
even that, in my mind, wouldn't be like that. That would be a slight disappointment.
Yeah, just too obvious at this point. Like I don't know, unless it's like something that's like completely out of left field that makes you go, "Holy crap." I think almost everybody's just going to be like, "Yeah, wasn't that cool."
I think at this point, I'd take someone like Sami Callihan. Mind you, I've never seen this man wrestle, but at least it's a new person, and it's like, oh wow, what are they gonna do? But we've seen MJF and Jungle Boy. I haven't, but you guys have seen MJF and Jungle Boy before, and I think a MJF Wardlow match is tantalizing, but maybe not as a like goon or a henchman of the devil, and then who's the devil? And at this point, I just want to see some people unmasked.
Yeah, yeah. Just want to get to the other side of this, then hopefully it gets wrapped up and we get into more interesting stuff.
Um, are we going to get the two Devil Dumpling members unmasked on Dynamite?
Probably. I feel like they'll beat them, and then if they're beat, they're not really gonna be defensive, and they'll just pull off the masks. But there were plenty of times during that Jay White feud where I was like, "Oh, this will be where he gets the belt back," and it would tease like mid segment, he's got his hand on the belt, and then they'd get the belt back. So these MJF storylines tell us no, but I'm gonna be optimistic and say yes.
All right. Yeah. Next up, we get a little Sting video package reminding us of Revolution, retirement match. Um, Nothing really new to that. We got Ric Flair involved. Uh, but yeah, next up, we get a Continental Classic match, Blue League. Daniel Garcia versus Andrade. Garcia's going in with 0 points, and Andrade is also, but Andrade has not had a match before this. Um, I really liked it. We got Daddy Magic on commentary. He was growing on me on Dark Elevation with
Oh, really?
Paul White. It was Paul White and Daddy Magic on commentary for the last maybe like 2 or 3 months of Elevation.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's actually a
I
note
like it.
I had was like I don't really like Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Ants because they just feel like jobbers from the Jericho Appreciation Society. But he was really funny and entertaining on commentary tonight. Like maybe I just haven't had a fair shot at him to hear him out, but I was at least a fan of him in this sense. What did you think, Chad?
Yeah, much the same. Yeah, I enjoyed the heck out of him on commentary. In the ring, they either need to get more serious or whatever. Because yeah, the whole like jobber shtick's kind of it's kind of worn out on me. Or he needs to serious it up or go singles. But it was good. Like the match itself was pretty awesome. I always love Andrade's tranquilo spot there. So I never understand how he just sticks in there like that and just what? No, how? But yeah, it was a good back and forth match. And Yeah, Garcia has been, showing a lot of growth as a character, which I enjoy. I always love the progression of storyline and character development. So from that standpoint, I thought it was pretty good. And yeah, all in all, I enjoyed it. How about you, Dave?
Yeah, yeah. Very, very satisfied. Um, uh, yeah, definitely. I really like the spot where Andrade was running the ropes and Garcia dropped to the mat. And you know how usually the other opponent will jump over the guy stomach down on the mat, but he just drop kicked him while he was on the ground. I really loved that. Yeah, but yeah, I guess I'll kind of go into the happenings of the match. Uh, then right before commercial, Andrade pushes Garcia so hard off the top turnbuckle that he flipped over backwards onto the outside. I really like that. Andre goes for three amigos. I got written down here, very even matchup. Uh, Again, yeah, I like to see Garcia get his shit in. He's green, but definitely growing. And watching him over the past, I don't know, 2-3 years, uh, evolving and building a character, it's kind of cool. Like it's cool to see a wrestler, when they were not very high on the card and then watch them. Yeah, it's just really cool. Uh, At one point, Andrade superplexes Garcia and finally hits three amigos. We get Garcia getting the Dragon Slayer on Andrade, but Andrade gets out of it. Flatliner to Garcia for the win. We get Andrade shaking Garcia's hand too, right before they cut away. I thought that was kind of cool.
Sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship.
So it really matters.
Yeah. After that, we get Willie Mack. Probably neither of you are real familiar with him. Probably less. Chandler, right? You
Oh,
then.
that's who it was. Okay, okay. I had no
I
idea who that guy was.
I kind of knew a little bit about him over the years. When Omega was doing the belt collector thing and having his little cup of tea and over at TNA doing all that, Willie Mack was kind of a big player in all that shenanigans. So yeah, he's a cool dude. Good to see him in AEW. Um, let's see. Yeah, he's calling out Wardlow, which can't be a smart idea, but we'll see. Uh, I'd like to see a power bomb performed on Willie Mack or 5.
However many it takes.
Yep, yep. After that, we get the Kingdom versus Iron Savages. The Iron Savages are gonna eat that ass. I'll tell you what.
That is
Uh,
something I wrote down. I felt like one of them said, quote, "Gimme that sweet ass." I want to make sure I read that. Okay, okay.
he
I'm new to
did.
these Iron Savages guys, so I just wanted to make sure I got that.
Yeah, they're on
Well,
BT a lot, or now BTDO, being the Dark Order.
Mm-hmm.
And they always have just these insane segments where they're just screaming weird things. And I don't know, mildly annoyed, but mildly amused at them all of the time. Like, I'm like, God, they're kind of annoying, but they're also kind of funny.
They're finding this where it's like, oh, they were the jobbers, but they said something silly, so it's better than losers who just lose. And then I liked Roderick Strong coming out in the beginning and going like, "Don't worry, we're not gonna neck the halls tonight." Like,
Uh,
where you come up with that kind of stuff. But I'll let you get into the play-by-play. But I'm not gonna lie, there was a moment in this. I think I laughed the hardest I've laughed at anything since started watching wrestling in this segment. So we'll get to that.
okay. Um, Roderick Strong dedicates the match to Adam Cole. Uh, the Kingdom win. Quick squash match with a spike pile driver. We get Roderick Strong couldn't help himself and need one of the Iron Savages and uh, barely gets back in the wheelchair. He falls over it and pretty squirrely there. Yeah, I'm fucking loving, fudging loving uh, Roderick Strong, like
Oh, he's so
anything
brave.
he's doing right now, he's so brave. He's neck. What are they doing? Like neck strong or whatever.
Yeah. I just
I love it.
he bumped like Shawn Michaels from SummerSlam '05 with Hogan, and that's just so funny to watch because he went up and did it almost perfectly, and then kicked him, and then bumped all over the ring. Meanwhile, Nigel McGuinness on commentary is just like, "What a hero! What a hero!" So just that combination, I don't know, just hit me perfectly this morning. I was dying when I watched that. So, and then not right after that, but then there was the Tony Storm promo later. So like not just the in-ring stuff, there was a lot of really funny moments on this episode. So I just wanted to like again praising Roderick Strong here. That was the funniest shit I've seen in a while.
You loving Roddy right now, Chad?
Oh heck yeah, yeah. No, he's like the perfect combination of like goofy wrestling stuff and also really good in ring. Like you can't go wrong. He's kind of like that MJF level of just like he kind of has a good well-rounded like just entertaining all around. How about you, Dave?
Yeah, yeah, man. We've been getting him like a lot, like every Dynamite, every Collision, tons of Roddy. Uh, yeah, good for him, man. Like, uh, to your point, Chad, like he can go in the ring. He's hilarious. Yeah, the whole shtick right now. Uh, I'm into it. Uh, yeah. After that, we get Ethan Page calling out Kenny Omega for a match in Montreal, Canada. He wants to prove who the best Canadian wrestler is. I believe Ethan Page is a face now. Um, I'm fairly certain, Chandler, you've never seen him wrestle.
No, he showed up and he was just talking. It was kind of like the top flight guy, Darius Martin, I think, where they were like, "Oh, he's back," and now they're like, "Oh, this guy's back. He's a big deal." And I was just like, "Can you say his name?" And luckily, they showed a graphic where it was Ethan Page versus Kenny Omega, so I had an idea of who it was, but I still have no idea who he is. Like, is he a Ring of Honor champ? Is he an AEW champ? Is he a New Japan champ? TNA champ? I don't know. He's just a guy. So I'm excited to see Kenny Omega on Collision next week.
Yeah,
He hasn't been around since Full Gear, so we'll get to see him, and
yeah. In
it'll
a
probably
singles
be
match too.
yeah.
That'll be good. Definitely happy to get Kenny out of the tag and trios bull crap. Uh,
Yeah.
For
yeah,
now, for
yeah,
one episode, we'll see how long it
true,
lasts.
true. And yeah, no, the last time I saw Ethan Page, he was doing stuff with Matt Hardy and stuff on Darker Elevation. So
Yeah,
I was like kind of confused. I'm like, oh hey, he's not a dick anymore. Okay.
I read a little bit that he like left their group not that long ago on Rampage or something. So, uh, yeah, he's a face, and yeah, I've always been into Ethan Page. Little background, Chandler, he was in Impact for a little while before coming to AEW. Um, gosh, didn't he have that botched debut where they like messed up? They played like basketball audio over
Oh my
his
god.
intro music.
What?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like 2020 or something
Yeah,
when
the
he
first
debuted
couple
for.
years they had so many weird tech, specifically audio problems. Where, yeah, the funny thing is I've actually done that job and I've probably done that exact same thing. Hit the wrong fader, wrong mute button, and all of a sudden like the wrong audio source is playing. You're like, ah. So I from a technical point, I can get why that happened, but that happened a lot on that show. And yeah, there was a good like minute to 90 seconds of just like basketball audio playing while he was coming out. It was very confusing.
I'm taking it after the show. That sounds funny. But hopefully they have a good match. That's all we can really hope for, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You think this will lead
Yeah,
to a push for Ethan Page, or is this just bringing Kenny Omega back onto TV?
man, I hope. I'm a fan. He was kind of he he did some things in Impact. He was a tag team or in a tag team with a guy named Josh Alexander. They were called the North. Yeah, they were tag champs for a while and often, I believe. But yeah, it was good to see him. I hope they push him. Uh, Whenever I see him, I always wonder, like, man, where the hell is Scorpio Sky? I think he might be in the Devil Dumpling Gang.
Oh, that's a good shout. I have not seen Scorpio Sky once since watching, so that's a good shout.
Yeah. Oh
Like
man.
he
Now
came
now
back,
if he shows up, I won't be surprised anymore. Thanks, Dave.
right? But yeah, I like Ethan Page. I like Kenny Omega. Give it to me. Take my money. Um, After that, we get Willow Nightingale calling out Mercedes Martinez. Uh, Willow says that she's never beat Mercedes. Martinez says, "Aren't you sick and tired of being the savior for everybody?" Good point. That's kind of the Willow trope. Her friend gets beat up, and she's got to run out all voluptuous and save him. That's her shtick. Uh, let's see. Then yeah. I guess we're gonna get that match. I don't remember. Dynamite,
I don't
maybe.
think they said it. I think it was kind of like, oh no, the Willow one with Wardlow. They didn't really say when. They just said, "I want to fight you." So I would bet next week's Collision because they have like Dynamite has like 6 big matches, and Collision has. I think they're down a Continental Classic match anyways, so they're gonna need some matches. So
Ah, cool.
hopefully next week's Collision.
Did you guys catch too that a few of the matches tonight were like standby matches? They were
Mm-hmm.
saying for like time, if the matches went short or whatever, which is it's all figured out anyway ahead of time. But I
Yeah.
like how they kind of gave it that little like added flair to it. I liked. Um, Yeah, after that, we get Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews. I like that combo versus Christopher Daniels and Matt Seidel. Match went a little longer than I think it should have. Uh, but yeah, they end up putting away Daniels and Seidel. At one point, uh, I wrote down here Daniels and Seidel actually have good tag team chemistry. They were very cohesive. We got a nice moonsault to Daniels from Malachi Black on the outside. Daniels went to powerbomb Malachi Black in the corner, but Malachi did a backflip and landed on his feet. I've never seen that. Matt Seidel and Buddy Matthews do stereo meteoras to their opponent. Uh, Malachi Black hits the end to Daniels for the win. The lights go out. It wouldn't be a typical collision without that. And out come Dax and Cash. Malachi says he assumes they must be there to join the House of Black. Malachi Black puts the mic down, and Matthews knees Dax Harwood. FTR get beat down. Malachi Black gives Cash the end, and Malachi Black says, "No one is coming for you." Then we get Dax getting the end to him. Um, yeah, their feud is heating up. It's kind of weird to me, FTR in a feud without titles involved because they've had a tag team title from somewhere for so long. But yeah, I'm I don't know. I can't say I'm really into it. I think like House of Black needs to like do something sick and depraved to them, or vice versa, for me to really pull some swerve stuff and break into their house or like
Mhm.
torture someone. I don't know, something like that.
I think that's what they were trying to go with in this collision because they gave Cash it's the end. I wanted to call it the Black
And
Mask because that's what it was in WWE, but it's the end. And then they picked him back up and they held Dax down and then they hit Cash again to kind of be like, ooh, we're gonna beat him up. And then they ended it at that. So they had that idea, they just didn't really do anything with it. But I think this will just be one of those, oh, the match will be really good. The feud is so, and we're a long way from World's End. So we're gonna have a couple of these to get through. But just I think it's interesting that they're really telling the story that FTR have no friends. I know that's like such a weird thing to latch onto, but really, aren't they like locker room leaders, or wouldn't people look up to them or something? I just find that hard to believe that no one in the back would help them, but that's just me getting worked. So if you had to pick someone to come out, who would it be?
Ooh, what a question.
Because it wouldn't be the Young Bucks because they're heel. Wouldn't be Bullet Club Gold because they're heel. Wouldn't be like MJF because he's busy and he's a pretty big face.
they acclaimed.
Maybe. And they've had fights with the House of Black before. It's not a bad shout.
Yeah.
And they've been gone ever since they got beat up by the Devil Dumpling Gang.
Ooh.
But I was gonna say about the match, why didn't anyone ever do anything with Matt Sydal? He is so good. Is he that boring on the mic that like why didn't WWE do something with him? Why didn't AEW do something with him? Why is he just losing to the House of Black?
Hmm.
And do you guys is he just not like a good promo?
I mean, not no promos like stick out to me like that are memorable, or like I'd say they're below average quality,
Yeah,
where
no,
you need
nothing
to be to
sticks
get.
out in my head. Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he talks.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's good. He's got incredible talent, and he like innovated a lot of things, before his time kind of deal. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
when he was
he's
tagging
good.
with his brother for a while too, and they were pretty excellent together.
Mike
Really?
So
Seidel.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
Is,
that was a cool little run.
is he out injured or just not interested in wrestling anymore?
They didn't sign him.
Oh, they only signed Matt, so he did it on like the indies.
No, they were in AEW, but like, I guess his brother was like a per date agreement kind of thing, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's like
A lot of
a
dark
nobody.
elevation.
yeah. At
Yeah.
least Matt Sydal was on WWE TV, so he has a little bit
Yeah.
more chance of being recognizable. Mike Sydal, I didn't even know he had a brother. So
Not many would. But yeah, cool little tag team they had. Um, let's see. We are
I did
at
have one pitch.
Renee.
I'm sorry,
Oh
I
yeah.
forgot. I had one pitch for that match. Someone should come out. It should be the Young Bucks, and they just come out, super kick FTR, and walk back to the. I just thought that would be funny, and like keep them as heels, and that way you do have someone to come out and save them, and then they're just like, nope, they have no friends, like really no friends. But that's it. I just wanted to throw
Man,
that in there.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe FTR needs to go away and come back. Take a couple months off because yeah, I feel like when they came out, I was like, go House of Black, kick his head off. Wait,
they
is House
weren't.
of Black the protagonists and not the antagonists?
AD,
Oh.
Brody King's going to win the Continental Classic.
Yeah.
Julia Hart's got the TBS Championship. The House of Black won the Tag Team Championship. It's all coming together.
They're not the baddies. They're the goodies.
It's all coming together.
Cool.
You've been saying that for weeks, man. With Julia Hart, she's not the heel.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Abaddon is going to be the heel in that
100%.
situation.
100%.
Yeah, anyway, we are backstage, Renee Paquette with Timeless Tony Storm. She said, "Where's the man that usually interviews me?" Said she was rudely interrupted by Sky Blue. She put a thing on her head and she's being spooky. She said, "I can be spooky too." Boo.
In the back, you can see Luther like jump and he like grabs the title. He's like, I rewound this segment. I loved it so much, but I'll talk after you, Dave.
That's all I got. Tell me what you thought.
Oh, so I just loved how first, like you said, and then she talked about Mariah May, where she called her a blonde floozy. So Tony doesn't think highly of her, and then she called it dinamite or something like that, or dynamite for dynamite. And then she was talking about Sky Blue, and she was like, "You know what? You should walk backwards. So the only time people want to see you is when they want to take a picture of your bum." And I like it because that's like a good dig, but it's also in that old timey fashion or like drawl. So Tony Storm just was so good. And yeah, I guess that's all I had. But I'm actually really excited about that title match on this week's Dynamite. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, it was. Yet again. What a good few women's storylines that I'm actually really interested in and actually really entertained by too. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, Tony Storm is killing it. She got like a little stale there for a second, but I feel like she's kind of got her groove back. How you feeling about it, Dave?
It occurred to me she could probably do acting. I think she could nail that.
I think a lot of
Uh,
wrestlers actually could act. It's just the tippy top stars go and act, and those ones aren't always the best. So it's hard to say. But a lot of those people like will never leave, and I don't really blame them because they love wrestling too much.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I'm into it. Should be a cool feud with Sky Blue. Um, Speaking of Sky Blue, next up we get her with what I'm gonna call her first real promo that I've ever heard her do, other than being in a shot with like Statlander, Willow, and having a little couple lines. Um, let's see. She says, talking about Tony Storm, this little midlife crisis is pathetic. You bring your little butler, bring your little blonde bimbo, and bring whatever 40s black and white crap you have under your robe. None of it will stop me from taking that championship from you. I'll have my chin up, my tits out, and I'm gonna shove that shoe right up your ass. Uh, it wasn't the absolute best, but best thing I've heard her say promo wise ever.
Yeah, it was a good first outing. Like you said, I think it was her first like real solo go at it. And she seemed to have like a little fire behind it and some conviction and made me like ready to see the next step in this feud. So yeah, good on her. I'm sure that's probably a super hard thing to do, especially when you're like just by yourself shouting at the camera, nobody to play off of. Really, I can't imagine that's easy to do.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit easier when you're in the crowd looking at them. You can come up with something on the fly or react to something they said right to you. But when they're just like, all right, go, I can't imagine that's got to be easy, especially if it's live too. But she, for her first time, which I didn't realize it was her first time, I thought she did a pretty good job. Again, maybe not as much as Moxley, but I believed her that she thinks she can beat Tony Storm and she's taking this seriously. And yeah, all it is just looking forward to the match on Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when we're getting that. Yeah, we're getting, man, what a Dynamite and Collision. We'll get to that, but
Because
man,
they were announcing like all of the Continental Classic matches, and I was like, okay, those are all going to be good. And then they're like, oh, Tony Storm and Sky Blue for the women's championship. Oh, that's going to be good. And then they're like, oh, Adam Cole and Christian for the TNT championship. Oh, that's going to be good. I had completely forgot about the MJF Samoa Joe and the Goobers. Completely spaced it. So they said that, and I was like, all right, one of these is going to be an angle. One of these is going to be a 30-second squash.
Yeah. Almost gonna have to be.
yeah, for sure. They're not going to be able to fit that in. All right. Next up, we get a Christian Cage and Adam Copeland video package, kind of recapping how we got where we are. Um, reminding us of the match coming up on Dynamite. After that, we get a really fun match. Vikingo versus Kip Sabian. Uh, Chandler, have you seen Kip Sabian wrestle yet in the couple months we've been doing this?
Yes, one match, and it was a pretty nothing burger of a match, but at least it brought Mark Briscoe back onto the screen. It was Mark Briscoe, Dustin Runnels, who we haven't seen since, and Keith Lee, which also Keith Lee came back through this match. So it was important because it brought back two good people. And then versus Kip Sapien and the Workhorsemen. And I realized, or I knew pretty quickly that this match wasn't important because it didn't even go into picture in picture, just ended in 5 minutes. So it's basically a squash match, but it was great to see Kip Sapien in this role with Hijo de Vikingo. He said something interesting. He said he's the most overrated person on the AEW roster. I didn't know he was on the roster. I thought he was a like AAA guy. So is he he's not all elite, is he? He's just on like
Yeah,
he is?
he's an OG.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Oh.
he his uh I think, man, he was definitely on the first Dynamite, I believe.
Vikingo?
I think he had him.
No, Sabian.
Oh,
Okay.
Sabian.
I'm talking about Vikingo.
Gotcha.
Sapien said Vikingo was the most overrated member, and I know that's a little nitpick, and it's not like an issue, but I was like, is he on the
Oh, yeah,
roster?
yeah.
Or is he okay?
No.
He's just he'll be on the roster someday. But
Mhm.
yeah, great match. You want to get into it, Dave?
Yeah, yeah. Vikingo purposely bounced off the ropes to fake out Kip Sabian. That was freaking crazy. Never saw that before. Um, we get Kip Sabian hitting a beautiful Arabian moonsault onto Vikingo on the outside. Vikingo sprung off the ropes again into a Pele kick to Kip Sabian. Uh, Vikingo gets Kip Sabian into a torture rack position and then flips him into a big knee. Um, we get a tornado on the outside to Kip Sabian from Vikingo. Then we get a 630 splash to Kip Sabian for the win. Uh, man, that guy can flip and do it all, man. Uh, that Phoenix splash to Kip Sabian off the so he was on the second rope on the outside of the ring facing away from his opponent. Boing. Like, what?
Yeah, early on in this match, I was like, I just can't take notes for this because I don't know what he's doing, but it's all amazing. That's the only thing I conclusively wrote down is I was like, what is that? Like, how does a human being like sitting at home going like, oh, I should come up with some fun wrestling moves. Oh, what if I just like do this? Like, no, you're on strings or some shit, right? Like, it's a green screen. Nope, he can just do that. So this Vikingo kid, he's going places, huh? What did you think, Chad?
Oh yeah, I was kind of reminded of like the first couple years of AEW watching this, where like no build, no story, nothing. Just let's just throw these two dudes in the ring and just like watch the magic happen. Because like it was a low key banger, and there was no reason for it other than here you go, and I loved it. Yeah, that's my notes were just low key banger. Just toss two good workers into the ring and have at it. It's really all you needed. It's perfect, like perfect placement right in the middle of the show where you're just like, oh, hey, I'm awake again. It was great. Give me more matches like that. Like, I don't know, maybe I think I might have said that last week too. I feel like they're trying to maybe uh, uh, find what made them awesome to begin with. Because like if they just keep doing stuff like that and try to get that original AEW feeling back, I'm all in about it. Because so yeah, sometimes I feel like maybe they're going like sometimes too far in all the storytelling and stuff. When it's like, no, man, you guys are just give me amazing wrestling. I don't know if that's how you guys feel, but that's how I feel.
I like a good mix. I want the matches to matter and I want the matches to be good. But even in a sense like this, like not every match on Collision and Dynamite can be pulse pounding and everything. So if it's either one or the other, like there's a good story in a match or this match is good, that's always good. So the only other note I had for this match was like they tried to do a Vikingo offer Kip Sapien a little respect after the bell, and they cut as Kip Sapien was turning away, so they're not even humoring a rematch between these two. So that was one and done. Hope you enjoyed it.
I kind of thought maybe the Butcher and the Blade would come out and maybe rough up Vikingo, and then Commander and Penta have to come out. Or no, they're already wrapped up in
The
Dante
top flight.
Martin, Top Flight. Yeah. Uh, yeah. No, good match. I really hope they've signed Vikingo. I don't know what his contract status is currently. It might be on the internet, but yeah, hopefully they get him and push him to the moon. He can do things that people shouldn't be able to do, quite frankly. Um, yeah, I guess let's remind everyone to give us a like, maybe subscribe a little bit, uh, comment on our videos. Check out our Ric Flair video we posted. Uh, is it the right move? Did they make a big mistake?
Only
Yeah,
one way to find out and watch our insightful commentary, right, Chad?
Yeah, you got a few comments on that one. I'm not gonna really get into that. Yeah,
That's good.
internet controversy is definitely not my thing, but
If you disagree with us, always let us know. Maybe we'll change. Maybe we'll have a different opinion. We probably won't, but maybe.
but yeah, no, that was a good one. I was pleasantly surprised that some people clicked on it.
yeah. Um, yeah, definitely like, subscribe, check us out on the audio realm, Pandora, Spotify, Amazon, Apple. We're out there. Uh, hopefully we can bring you some entertainment. Um, but yeah, getting back into it here. Let's see. We have Lexi Nair backstage with Keith Lee. I'm a little disappointed here. Um, she wants to know, who is he? Um, Out comes Shane Taylor again. I thought we finished that. Uh, Apparently they're gonna have a match at Ring of Honor Final Battle. Keith Lee accepts. Why? Why couldn't this be Swerve? Uh, they're just not gonna do it, are they?
I think
Well,
they've missed the boat.
in all fairness, Swerve is real busy at the moment, but yeah, I think there's something else I wanted to talk about this just in general, but he just came out and I was like, I don't know who this is, but that means it's Shane Taylor. So all right, we'll see. And then so they set it up for Ring of Honor Final Battle. I wrote, well, why not just set this up on Ring of Honor and then maybe think about Ring of Honor Final Battle. I think it's definitely before World's End. I think it's like December 15th. There's going to be no Ring of Honor World Championship. There's going to be no tag team championships. So, like, is the Athena match going to main event? That's probably the right choice because she's always the best thing on the card. And it's also like, I don't care at the end of the day. I'm not going to watch it. But what's the state of Ring of Honor right now? Like, it feels like it's awful, like in an awful position right now.
I mean, you're kind of seeing it. The little bits they show on AEW is kind of the most interesting bits of Ring of Honor. And yeah, that's what Samoa Joe laying down the belts and possibly some Keith Lee action.
If I didn't have to pay $10 a month, I would watch it.
I wonder
It's
if it's
simple.
available to watch with Fight TV. I haven't even looked at that, but since it is worth checking out, I'll do that tonight.
If I did anything, I would buy the Impact, like $8 a month thing, which I'm thinking about doing anyway. When it becomes TNA again, I think I'm gonna jump back in right at the beginning, the
Nice.
relaunch.
Come out
So,
and support it. Why not? I probably won't, but why not?
but yeah, let's see. Yeah, Shane Taylor, blah blah blah, boo. Um, Next up, we get CJ Perry outside of Andrade's door. Miro walks up and he is pissed. She says, "You gave up your God. If there's any love that you have for me, please let me do this. Please don't lay a hand on my client." Miro promises. He says, "My God is gone. If he was still with me, I would be in this tournament ripping the spine out of Andrade." Woo. Love it. So for the time being, Miro agrees to not beat the crap out of Andrade. Which who are we kidding here? That won't last forever. They're gonna be fighting eventually. Maybe World's End. I think we might get Andrade Miro.
Well, you could. I know it says no interference during the match, but you could just hide under the ring, wait for the match to end, and then jump out and jump them. Like, sure, they win or lose the match, but then you injure them so much they might not win the next one. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. What if all this is just some weird like marital sex thing?
I mean, that has been theorized. The at least in WWE, it was like pretty well known that Vince McMahon just hated Rusev and Lana being married and being a couple because he felt like a guy like Rusev shouldn't have a woman like Lana. So that's why he kept on making them do cucking storylines. I don't know why they're doing not full blown cucking storylines, but like separation storylines in AEW. Maybe you're right.
It's just I don't know, just has a weird vibe. I just let's just fast forward to the match.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's see here. Damn, are we already on the main event? Holy crap. Um, yeah, we got the Blue League Continental Classic. Brian Danielson, first match of the tournament versus Eddie Kingston, who already took an L against Brody King. Oddly enough, too, they are still advertising Eddie Kingston as Ring of Honor World Champion.
I'm just
Anyway,
enjoying the matches. I'm just enjoying the matches here. I'm not thinking about it too hard. They announced the match. I look forward to it. That's all it is.
yeah. I'm not gonna overthink it. One thing I took from this match they looked like they were having fun,
Yeah.
which back to what you were talking about, Chad, the original feeling of AEW, like what you were talking about with the like you'd get a big like Lucha Brothers Canadian Destroyer spot, and the crowd would just AEW, AEW, and that was like what AEW was, and like they were having fun, and the wrestlers were having fun, like they were having fun, Eddie and Danielson, like you could see it. So that's a big takeaway I had from it. Um, of course, Eddie chopped Danielson so hard it knocked him to the ground. Nigel McInnes loved it and laughed. Uh, Danielson chopped Eddie, and Eddie just asked for more. He pulled down his strap so he could hit him right on the chest. Uh, Eddie hit a back body suplex to Danielson on the floor in front of commentary. Um, they get in a big chop and strike exchange over and over, brutalizing each other. Brian Danielson gets Eddie in the label lock. Kingston won't uh, let it get locked in. Uh, Kingston hit spinning back fist for a 2 count. At this point, I'm just so pumped, like into this match. Like, good lord. We get uh, Eddie Kingston kneeing Danielson in the orbital bone. Uh, we get yes kicks to Eddie. Uh, Super loud chops to Brian Danielson. Uh, I wrote, what a match. I also wrote, we don't need CM Punk.
Hey, well, he's home
uh,
now, so we're not gonna get him. He's
yep,
home.
don't need him. Don't need him. We get yes stomps to Kingston. Danielson stomps uh, until Danielson stomps Kingston until he collapses. Yeah, freaking banger of a match at that point. The Psycho knee to Kingston for the win. Man, we got Eddie down 0 points in this tournament. Uh, Danielson picking up 3 for the win. Uh, yeah, this is heating up. Things are getting unpredictable. Who would have thought Eddie Kingston would be 0-2 in a tournament?
Right?
What the
Where he
hell is
brazenly
going
put
on?
his titles on the line too. Like he was so bold and was like, "I'll leave these all in the ring, everything I've worked for in my life." And already he's losing. My favorite part of this match was the very end where him and Danielson were both getting up, but obviously Danielson was gonna win. And Eddie Kingston is just screaming no at the top of his lungs because he knows he's beat. He knows he can't do anything. And of course, right after that, Danielson hits the Psycho knee. So just a phenomenal end to this match. And I think literally last episode or last collision, I was like, Eddie Kingston isn't my favorite. He's not doing it so well for me. Then I see a match like this, and I'm like, my God, he's brilliant. This was such a good, and of course, it's hard to have a bad match with Brian Danielson. Of course, Brian Danielson's return match was brilliant. So, not a whole lot of shocking stuff there, but the only other real note I had for this match is just coming from WWE Daniel Bryan to AEW Brian Danielson. It's real odd to see him do those like stomps to the head and everyone chanting yes, like he's a baby face and he's doing a like thinking of the yes kicks in WWE where it's him fired up against all odds, just trying to get any leverage he can in this. It's like, oh no, I'm stomping your head. And just a funny comparison.
Yeah.
What do you think, Chad?
Much the same as you know, seeing Eddie laying there on the mat and just flipping him off, barely stand. That was just poetic. Nigel McGuinness, yet again, I got to put him over. He had the line of the night, maybe even the week of he's got the eye of the tiger, but the bones of a senior citizen. Fuck. That shit cracked me up. shoot. Yeah, no, this is just amazing match. Yeah, my fantasy book, the thing I'd love to see is Eddie to pick up some wins and get enough points to get to the semifinals and get another match with him and Brian Danielson. I think right now that's probably the one thing I want to see most in this tournament out of a lot of cool stuff happening in this tournament. What do you guys think for semifinals? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I think Kingston could easily come back, and at this point, he's kind of the blue league. He might be the emotional favorite to win. Where if he starts clawing back some real tough victories, because they already announced who he's fighting next week, and that's going to be a big match. So we'll say that in a sec. But I think if you let Kingston get back some real tough victories and let him get to that semifinals and have it be against Brian Danielson again, ooh, that would work. That would cook, as the kids say.
Ooh, that would be bussin'. Is that a kid thing
Yes.
still? Yes, I'm hip.
Yes. It's kind of out of touch these days, but you can still say it.
All right. I'm cool AF. No, wait. Too old.
I kind of want to do my homework and do the math related to the tournament to see the possibilities now. Like, what does Eddie Kingston have to overcome to, you know what I mean? Uh, what do they all have? They have to wrestle
Yeah, they all
at
get
least
5.
four other people, two other people,
Yeah, I think after
three.
this, well, it's kind of weird because of Danielson and Andrade taking a week off, probably to let Danielson recover a little bit extra. But I think most of them have 3 matches left on the Blue League. And then, no, I think Brian Danielson and Andrade both have 3 matches, and everyone else both have 2 on the Blue League. And then on the Gold League, everyone else just has 2.
Darn.
I don't know. It's a little weird how they're doing it on Collision, where sometimes they just don't have the matches. So I don't know what their plan is to make up for that. But
Rampage, baby.
no, don't make me watch it. I will, but
Wait, yeah. So they're not having any Continental Classic on Rampage, right? So
not so
far.
far. Nope.
Okay, good, 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 good. Um, yeah, I'm really into it. Chandler, do you have handy some of the tournament matches coming up?
I have Dynamite and Collision what they announced. So Dynamite, Swerve v Briscoe. I'm very excited for that.
What?
Jay versus Jay, the Jay off. And I think what they're saying is Jay Lethal could be facing elimination. So he could be, I think it's if you get 3 losses in a row, you're out. So this would be a good draw for him. And that would push Jay White a little bit further into lunacy. And then Mox versus Roosh. So that'll be a
Oh
good
my
one.
God.
That'll be a good one. And then Collision,
Ugh.
they only announced 2. So I don't know if Daniel Garcia versus Brody King is happening next week or not. They just didn't say it, but that's the one match they didn't say. Brian versus Andrade, they're just running that back. And then Eddie versus Claudio.
Ooh.
So that's a
Running that back.
that's where I was saying that's a real big test for Eddie Kingston to overcome and have that huge babyface run. And then, have it come down to maybe Danielson and Kingston and let them hash it out. But at least with the next couple of weeks, I'm pretty excited for the tournament matches.
Dude, I
Yeah.
am pumped.
Yeah, no, the wild card in that for me is Brody King. Like it's hard to picture him losing or even like drawing enough for like Eddie to get back into it. Cause yeah, he'd have to either lose or draw his remaining 3 matches
Yeah, I think he'd just have to straight
just
up
for
lose.
just for anybody else to get enough points to get in back into it.
Well, Danielson is behind, so he can easily come back up. And
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
say he beats Andrade next week and King doesn't even wrestle, then they're tied. So
Huh.
it can happen. They can match it up.
Man, yeah, what a great idea for a tournament. Like, I know we were all a little kind of like, and then it got a little convoluted. Uh, but now, whew, count me in.
Yeah, and I'm so happy they decided to do this like the round robin with the points as opposed to a single elimination. Like this just gives you so many different outcomes now. Where you just fantasy book for it till the morning comes up.
Something odd that I thought, which I've never seen a round robin tournament before, but apparently a lot of people are confused by how this tournament is working. And they're like, oh, like who wins? How many points do you need to win? And I don't know, it seems pretty like self-explanatory. Like they didn't need to explain it that much. So there's a lot of people that are genuinely confused by this tournament and they don't know how it works. I don't know, like where do these people come from?
I don't
I
know.
like the scoreboard that they have where you just kind of like take the guy and they meet there. Oh, that's where their match
Yeah,
was.
they
That's where the
couldn't have
point
made it any
is.
easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I played a little sports growing up. We had those kinds of tournaments all the time.
Yeah.
Well, we want to get into our high and low for the evening for the show.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to go first?
I shall. It's not going to be any matches. It's a hard pick between Roderick Strong's bump or the Tony Storm promo because those were my two favorite things. I have to go with the Roderick Strong promo. I was dying, or the Roderick Strong bump. That was so stupid and carny. I loved every second of that. And of course, there's a bunch of other great things on the show, but that was just my favorite. My least favorite thing was the singular women's match. It wasn't like pre-announced, nothing going on, and two people wrestled, and it was a so-so match. But at least Julie Hart came out in the end. But for a fairly good episode of Collision, that was my only low point. What about you two?
At least it advanced storyline.
True.
Even if it's just for a Collision match, at least it's something. So it's my low point, and it's not very low.
How
That's
about you,
fair.
Chad?
My low point for me was actually just kind of a minor quibble, which I didn't really care for the cold open. It just didn't quite. I don't know, just something about the pacing or the content. I just kind of zoned out during it. Then I actually did write a note there too, where for whatever reason this week I was not digging the song. I kind of want new metal back. You mean a good old fashioned raw WWE type? No more new metal. Is that gone?
I like the difference that Collision has where it's the Elton John. I think I still like it, but again, I'm still pretty new to watching Collision, so
Yeah.
that's where I would disagree. But I see where you're coming from. Where, yeah, the cold opens weren't that spectacular. I liked Danielson's, but that was about it.
Yeah, and I think for me, a high point, just try to pick something different here, was yet again, we kind of talked about it at length, but the Moxley promo, just the way that they just keep throwing more and more into this tournament, and it's just getting more and more interesting each week, and just throwing that into there just made me even that more into it. How about you, Dave?
Well, I'd like my high point to be not an event, but a concept, the Continental Classic itself, but I will be a little more specific. The Phoenix Splash by Vikingo to Kip Sabian. That really I think that might have been
That was pretty
my
mental.
yeah, like watching that guy wrestle.
There's that
Yeah,
one
high
WWE game where they like do power bombs, but the guy giving it is like jumping up with it and they jump 10 feet in the air. That's how Vikingo just wrestles, but he's real. He's a real human.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. He's the
yeah.
AI. He's CG. I haven't met him. Except we did see him in Portland, but
Oh yeah.
Low point for me was finding out we're dealing with more Shane Taylor. I thought we were like, okay, finally, we're gonna hint at
Are we
Swerve, but
well, I don't even
Are
think they
it,
we?
had their
Are we
match. I
gonna
think
deal with him? Because I don't know about you, but I'm probably not watching any Ring of Honor anytime soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I
I would
wanted
agree
it
with
to
that.
be Swerve. I'm very disappointed with Keith Lee's trajectory.
I wanted it to be
Um,
Miro, just a big hoss fighting another, like, I don't know, just do something interesting, but maybe they'll have a 6-star classic and we're all just poo-pooing it. You don't know. Maybe they got something really good and they've been waiting 15 years for this moment.
yeah, maybe Adam Cole will come out and manage Keith Lee
Well, that's how you get
on
him to the top.
crutches.
That's a world championship gimmick right there. You shave Adam Cole, call Keith Lee Bearcat. I don't know why Tony Khan's not doing this.
Then you have Cash shave Dax's back.
Don't talk about that. We don't talk about that era of Raw. That's like the worst television anyone can watch. Anyone. There's a promo. There's like a segment. I don't know the context of it, but I've seen it a million times. It's Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, one of the best wrestlers, fantastic specimen, could be Brock Lesnar tier. This guy, and they just have him flaunting his ass in the middle of a ring on Raw. That's the promo. And they're like, look at the Almighty's ass.
Hey, that was better than the Bobby Lashley sisters bit.
I didn't want to say that because I haven't seen that, but I did
I
know
was
of
still
that one.
watching during that point. The sisters thing was god awful.
You poor thing. Is that what made you stop?
I think that's around the time I stopped. Yeah.
That was my peak. Oh, I'm just watching Rumble and Mania, and that's it. That was the most I've ever been a casual fan. And
Wise
some of the
decision.
Rumbles were good. Some of the Manias were good.
Man, we have a freaking AEW pay-per-view coming up too. Sorry, that was a little off
Yeah.
topic, but damn, like right
20
off,
days.
dude, like we only have one match for it, right?
Just MJF and Samoa Joe.
Hey, I'm gonna predict we're getting Miro and Andrade.
Yeah,
I think that's a
I
good
don't know.
prediction. I think
Julia and Abaddon,
I think they'll do that.
or
before
are they
then.
gonna get that?
I think that'll be Collision. Maybe they'll do Julia and Sky Blue as a singles match. Maybe they'll do the rematch with Julia and Statlander.
Yeah. I'm also getting a little bit of a feeling that Thunder Rosa might be coming back soon.
It's a good shout. I haven't seen her wrestle once, so I'd like to see what she's capable of.
She's good. Stiff worker.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Heard she's a bit of a sandbagger.
Dude, a lot of the women's division is hurt. Like
And not by her.
key players. Yeah. I want Jamie Hayter back so bad. Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker. But yeah. I heard the Mercedes Moné AEW talks have cooled.
Big speculation is that she's going to WWE. They're like, it's kind of the same thing as Cody, kind of the same thing as Punk. So it's one of those where if she shows up, I'll believe it. And maybe Triple H will be smart this time and present her as like the tippy top star. And it's not that much. It's just whenever Mercedes posts something on Twitter, Bailey tends to reply to it and says like, oh, things are coming. So, and they have been saying that they're going to dramatically amp up the women's division on SmackDown specifically. And that's where Bailey is. And they're saying they're going to get people you're not going to expect. So you wouldn't really expect it for Mercedes Moné to go back to WWE this soon. It's only been about a year and a half since she walked out. I don't know if I'm for or against it because it's kind of like with Punk where I don't really know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So
it's a let it play out thing.
In a sense, I'm excited because it's always exciting to have new talent in these promotions and see new feuds and new battles and matches and whatever. But Yeah, it'd be cool if Mercedes Moné went to WWE. It'd be cool if she went to AEW, and I'm sure it'd be fine if she stayed with New Japan.
Cool.
Yeah. I kind of heard a little bit about Jade Cargill and them not really knowing what to do with her yet. She hasn't debuted technically
So
yet, right?
they brought this up at the Survivor Series press conference where someone directly asked about Jade Cargill, and this was where some people thought Triple H threw some shade at AEW, which take it however you will. He basically said, I took it as a positive thing. The way most people took it as is Jade Cargill wasn't ready for this, and so we're having to train her. And they're saying that's how people are taking it. But I took it as we're gonna push Jade Cargill to the moon, and she's not to the moon. She's a star. She's not uber star. So I think they know what they have on their hands with Jade. They're just making sure she can handle anything, which is all Triple H said was, we want to make sure she can handle anything we throw at her. So I think, we're in a bit of a dead end or a dead time for wrestling. So they're just going to hold her off till the Rumble.
Yeah, no, yeah, man, train her the heck up until the Rumble, have her win it, and that Rumble to WrestleMania push is how you make a superstar.
You could feasibly break the record for most people eliminated with Jade Cargill. You could easily do that. Because I'm sure I don't think I ever saw a match of hers in AEW, but she's huge, right? Like she towers over people.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that far-fetched to see her go on a tear in the Rumble. So
Yeah, give her a spot kind of like the Shayna Baszler in the Elimination Chamber, or that one year when Brock Lesnar
that was so good.
it just made you feel so good when Drew and what's his face? Ricochet, yeah, to finally got him out. Yeah, give her that kind of run. Whoo.
That 1 second is the hypest Ricochet has been, at least on the main roster in WWE, and all he did was kick Brock Lesnar in the dick.
Yeah.
What an inspiration.
True that. Cool. Yeah, I can't think of anything clattering around in the rumor mill.
Yeah,
You got
no
anything,
CM
Chandler?
Punk news over the weekend.
He'll be on SmackDown this Friday, but I don't have much hopes or plans or expectations because there's also been a report where he's not going to really be doing much for the next couple of months or weeks. And then the new year starts and Rumble season starts kicking in. He'll be on almost every Raw. So I think he'll just have a Brock Lesnar type deal where he'll come out for a couple pay-per-views where they might want to bump up the buy rate or the watch rate or whatever. But he's not going to be on every Raw or every SmackDown or every pay-per-view.
Oh, is he going to turn purple and bounce around too?
Maybe.
Cool.
You never know. He might have a staph infection or a concussion. Uh-oh, too far, too soon.
Maybe the ref could pick up a little hunk of poo off the mat. You ever see that close up?
I know he shit himself once in a match. He talked about it on a podcast. I never saw a picture of it, but
Yeah, the ref had to grab it.
Ew.
Gross. And he tells a story and he was just sicker than shit. And I feel bad for him because no one should poop themselves on their job, especially on live TV. But again, he went back to that company.
Yeah.
His
He's
choice.
home.
He's home.
Huh, home is where you go to poop.
Brew.
But I guess I was just going to say in the rumor and innuendo mill, I'm fresh out. Just Jack Perry's the devil. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go full Paul Heyman on this. That's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. So
Ooh. Got him. Cool. All right. Well, I think that just about wraps it up. Um, Again, everybody, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, uh, share. We love your support. Thank you for commenting on our videos too. We really appreciate that. Um, yeah, we're a small growing channel trying to reach many people. Wrestling's fun. We love talking about it. Uh, yeah, this is kind of surreal to me. Just sitting around with some buddies talking about wrestling and having to like sound semi intelligent. But
Someday we'll
yeah,
get there. Someday we'll get there.
Yeah.
we'll
It's in the
get there.
pipeline. We'll get there someday. We'll get to competent. But yeah, to
Cool.
the viewers out there, leave us comments if you agree with us. Tell us why. If you disagree with us, also tell us why, because we're interested to know.
Cool. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Peace.
Bye bye.